A Michigan woman turning her tragedy into action after her husband died unexpectedly during what was supposed to be their dream vacation to Hawaii. Patti Johnson says her husband, Ray, decided to go snorkeling off the coast of Maui. While in the water, he told friends he was having trouble breathing, so they helped him out of the water. Soon after, Ray collapsed, and first responders could not resuscitate him. Ray Johnson's autopsy determined his cause of death was an accidental drowning. Ray's wife, Patti, does not believe he died from drowning, and now she's suing the resort, the Hawaiian Tourism Authority, and the Hawaii Visitors and Convention Bureau. Joining me now is Patti Johnson and her attorney, Stuemke. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Patti, first I want to say I'm so sorry for your loss. We appreciate you coming on. Your husband, Ray, passed in February of 2022. Walk us through what happened that day.
Okay. That morning, we had set out, we were going to go for a walk, and we were traveling with friends, and our friends called and said they wanted to go snorkeling. Ray loved to snorkel. He loved the water. He loved everything about it. I said, I'll go for the walk, you go snorkeling. And so he did. He set off and went snorkeling. I was several minutes behind and then eventually went for the walk. As I was walking, I'm going up a hill that overlooks where they're at, the beach, the ocean, and I see them coming in. And I looked at them and I started waving, and I realized they don't see me. I'm up on a hill. And so I just watched for a minute, and then I kept walking. And I had no idea there was any problem, any issues. So I kept walking, and then I thought, what if he's coming in? Maybe he wants to go for the walk with me. So I looked again, and I could see from behind more at that time. And I thought, oh, it kind of looks like they're helping him in. So I thought maybe he hurt his leg, hit it on some lava rock or something like that. So I just watched, and then another friend was helping him too. So I started walking down the hill. And this is developing over minutes. I really don't know the time. And then now he's on his back and they're pulling him in. And then they start yelling, call 911. And I raced down the hill and turned onto the beach. They brought him in, his head snapped back. And I believe at that time he was gone. There happened to be a medical conference at our hotel that day. So there were immediately doctors and nurses there working on him. And then the EMTs came. They worked on him for, I would say, about an hour.
I can't imagine how hard it is to relive that day. Why don't you believe your husband died of drowning?
I was shocked when I received the report that said he had drowned, because I was watching him come in. I did not believe there was anything wrong when he was coming in. I would have never continued walking had I thought he was in any kind of distress. And his friends, and I also called his friends after I got the report and said, they said he drowned, and they're like, that doesn't make any sense. And they were talking to him.
Sure.
So I don't believe, usually if you're drowning, that you're able to talk to people and try to make decisions where to go. Should I go to the beach? Should I go to the side?
I'm going to bring Jay in to talk about this further. Jay, you just filed a lawsuit in February of this year. What decision led you to take this legal action?
Well, when we looked into it, the first that I had heard of this issue was when Patti called me, and I learned about the snorkel safety study that the state of Hawaii had commissioned about 6 years ago to investigate two things: the causes of the epidemic of drowning among tourists in Hawaii. It is by far and away the #1 cause of death among tourists in the state of Hawaii. And number two, how to prevent it. And the experts that they hired, number one, when they released the report showing the statistics that you show there on the screen, the lead author said he was terrified by what they found, and that you should be too. And what they found was that most of the people that drown, most of the tourists that drown while snorkeling, do not do so because they're inexperienced swimmers or they're overwhelmed by the currents or things like that. What they drown of, more often than not, in his opinion, was rapid onset pulmonary edema.
Rope.
Which is, yes, exactly, rope, which he postulated was caused by, in part, long-haul flights within 72 hours of snorkeling.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.